And welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Zoe Lyons and James Acaster, Gary Delaney, Hugh Dennis and Josh Widdicombe. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. In this round, I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's happening here? There we go, ladies and gentlemen, the end of comedy. That's it. There's literally nothing we can add to this particular story. Once you've shown that picture, that's it. It's all over, folks. Time to go home. That picture has finished it. 250 years of satire, and it's now done. That's it. I'm telling you, everything. Swift, the whole lot. Punch, Private Eye, have I the news for you? The Establishment Club, all done. Good night, people. We're out of here. Let's just show that picture and go to bed. I will ask the question again as we look at the picture. What's happening here?
Foreplay.
Foreplay is the first answer we've received.
Is David Cameron saying, I met your mum once?
Is it a poster for the new film, Babe 3, City Boy and the Pig?
Has the Ashley Madison website been hacked again?
Well done at taking two recent stories and slamming them together into one top-quality punchline.
Is the cameras going, whatever you do, don't open your mouth?
Don't go at any stage, right? Because we are not the ones who made this story happen, right?
As somebody said, pulled pork, and David Cameron's going, no, we're just good friends.
Oh, lovely stuff.
That is not the answer.
Is it Prime Minister updates his Tinder profile picture?
Is this a photo of David Cameron singing a rousing rendition of Two Become One by the Spice Girls?
Is Cameron going, no, I won't blow your house down, provided you just do a little something for me?
I mean, he has caught the pig in front of the house made of bricks, to be fair. It's the third one.
Yeah.
He's looking very happy in that picture, though. Is it Prime Minister gets a massive lard on?
Is there an angry farmer somewhere shouting, no, David, I said pluck a fig?
Is that a phrase that anyone has ever said? Oh, where are you off? Fig plucking.
I'd sooner be a fig plucker than a fig plucker son. Well done, thank you very much, actually. I was gambling there, but I got...
I think that photo is just David Cameron going, well, this photo shoot's never going to come back and bite me on the arse, is it?
Yeah, there's no harm in me visiting a petting zoo. There won't be any problems with that whatsoever.
Surely that would be a heavy petting zoo, anyway.
I think this is... There is no particular story in this picture. I think he's probably just at a farm.
Yes, Hugh Dennis, that's absolutely right. How innocent. This is just a picture of Prime Minister David Cameron pictured last year visiting a farm. However, he is now at the centre of allegations, including drug-taking and debauchery with a pig during his years at Oxford University. The claims are made by former Conservative Party Treasurer Lord Ashcroft in a new biography serialised in the Daily Mail this week. The PM spokeswoman said she did not see the need to dignify the book by offering any comment, and other sources close to Cameron later dismissed the pig allegations as nonsense and not true. So that's settled with it. We need never mention it again.
They said they don't recognise the allegations. They didn't say they don't recognise the pig.
That pig is not his type because it's alive.
Yeah. So that's the point about it was a dead pig.
Yeah, that's the point.
If you've got a dead pig, some people, don't they? They put an apple in its mouth. What's wrong if you had a couple of plums as well?
Of course, it was the head of a dead pig in this story. Of course it was. Of course, anything else would be bizarre.
Yeah. And it's an etiquette minefield at these posh do's, isn't it? Because you never know, when do you use the little knife? Is that my side plate? Is that the correct glass for white wine? Is now an appropriate time to place my cock in a pig's head? It's just... it's an etiquette minefield.
I just tend to dip it in everything once, just on the off chance and get it right. Just feeling around the table.
It was actually when this story broke, wasn't it? He was meeting the Danish PM.
It's the most beautiful stuff. It is so incredible.
What is Denmark famous for? I mean, we called him the Danish PM, but presumably there's every chance Cameron just calls him an escort agency boss.
Yeah. People have done things in college, and I think in some ways you've got to have that amount of sympathy, because we've all, you know, possibly done things in college that shouldn't be investigated. Maybe not a university here, maybe one in another country. But let's not look into things... Let's not investigate stuff that may have happened back in the mists of time, you know. So people died. It was a terrible night. But, you know, ha-ha, we've all moved on. Haven't we? Haven't we? Yeah, good.
There is apparently photographic evidence of the event, which made me wonder, terrible, was the pig wearing a GoPro?
That photo was before digital cameras. Who took that film to Snappy Snaps? Imagine it. Yeah, there's one photo on there, the one with the pig. Can I get that on a mouse mat as well?
Do you think what's going to turn up is a jigsaw with one piece missing in the jigsaw? No, we lost it in a house move. How does this incredible, life-affirming story emerge?
Well, it's revenge, isn't it? It's this guy, Lord Ashcroft, who was treasurer of the Tory party. He worked for the Tory party for 10 years, and he was promised a job in the cabinet, and then when David Cameron got into power, he offered him a junior whip's job in the Foreign Office.
And he went bananas.
He went bananas.
Absolutely bananas. And he's done all this. He acts like it's not, but it is. It's a classic example of revenge being a dish that's best served cold, like prosciutto. Yeah.
When they leaked, when the Daily Mail had this story, I didn't know that there's a dailymail.com, which is the American version, so I'd never been on the website before, so I typed it into the internet. And their headline, because they've got no interest in this in America, was John Hamm wins an Emmy. And I thought, is that the pig? Oh, his career's gone from strength to strength.
Well, yeah, the pig got an Emmy for faking it.
In other news, and there was other news this week. Remarkably, trolling the papers, there was other stuff happening in the world. What small group gathered in Bournemouth last week?
Was it the Abused Pig Support Society?
No, it was not.
It was the Liberal Democrats.
The Lib Dems had their thing.
They had their conference in 2 4-man tents.
They've only got 8 MPs. They don't need a big hall.
No, they don't.
All they need is a Citroen Picasso.
They did it at Cafe Nero, and they shared a loyalty card and still couldn't get a free coffee. That's a low moment, isn't it?
That is tough, all right.
There are other people at the conference, though, aren't there? It's not just the MPs.
No, it's not. No,
there are
it's
6 or 7 other people there.
Yeah. The best bit is when the venue hire said, well, we can just put 2 tables together. That'll do.
My favourite detail of the conference was that Paddy Ashdown did a DJ set.
Oh.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, wow. I love the idea that there's a poster somewhere with the words Paddy Ashdown, open brackets, DJ set, close brackets. Their party is so small that Vince Cable was doing the perfume for £1 in the toilet.
Wasn't there talk of splitting as well, and of some people leaving to make a new left-wing party?
The idea, yeah.
How can you split something that's already that small? You'd need the Large Hadron Collider to do that.
What did Jeremy Corbyn get in trouble for not doing last week?
Not being very good.
He didn't sing the national anthem.
Why did he not sing it?
Well, he's a Republican. He doesn't believe in the monarchy. But he claimed he was very much deep in thought. But then he's probably like most of the population who doesn't actually know all of the words to the national anthem.
There's a very odd thing in the second verse, though, which no one knows at all, which the opening line of which is, "Thy choicest gifts in store, on her be pleased to pour," which is a really odd image of somebody just emptying a massive sack of presents on her head.
Thy choicest gift in store sounds like a very old Argos advert.
Thy choicest gifts are in store now.
Didn't he claim that he was remembering the war?
He said, no, he later said that he was so moved because of his memories of his parents who were involved in the war and all thing, which is his first piece of spin. Could we? It's sweet. You.
None of us like the national... It's not a banging tune over here.
No,
Paddy
it's not.
Ashdown didn't spin it at the...
He just got to a break beat, dropped it. Hey, here comes the Queen.
Look for Vince Cable, get on the dance floor.
Things are about to get pretty extreme.
If they want something Jeremy Corbyn will sing gleefully, why don't they do David Cameron Had a Farm?
The boys from James, Zoe and Andy. Now we play a round called Don't Go Bacon My Heart. This game involves Gary and James, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers will step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is leadership.
Leadership looks fun, but it's stressful. Just look at anyone leading a conga. On the outside, it looks brilliant, having a great time all the time, just... Yes, you bloody are. Yes, you bloody are, mate. In their heads, just going, I don't know where I'm going. I didn't plan a route. I never asked for any of this. God, I miss my family. Everyone's trapped in the conga. You think you can leave? You can't leave. Person at the back, maybe, they could let go and make a run for it. Everyone else, you let go. You're not out the conga. Now, you're the leader of a rival conga. Now you've got turf wars to worry about. Worst case scenario, you're second from the back, you let go. The one person behind you loves congas, isn't giving up for anyone. You're trying to mingle at the party with a maniac on your hips. You have a serious discussion about the Lib Dem conference, they're still going hell for leather. You'd have to go swimming just to get rid of them. Never going to lead a conga. Never going to lead a Three Cheers either. I don't know who these lunatics are. I don't know where you acquire that level of confidence. Just get up in a room full of people. 3 cheers for Jackie! Hip, hip! What if everyone goes, no? Not 3 cheers for Jackie, she's an unpleasant person. How about no cheers for Jackie? Hip, hip, shut up.
OK, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the topic is health. Where you go?
I'm a lot sportier than I might look. In fact, I picked up a little niggle at the gym the other day. I mean, he pronounces it Nigel. I had a very stressful journey getting here today. All the way, this lorry driver was right up my arse. But it was nice of him to give me a lift. I spent most of the afternoon hanging out at the swimming baths. And then somebody told me and I tucked it back in again. I put on a lot of weight recently, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency. Can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can. We got loads of those. My grief counsellor died recently, but luckily he was so good I didn't give a shit. I accidentally kicked the dog earlier and he bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said, no. If anything, he's even more angry. I asked the vet, what can I do? I think my dog's racist. He keeps barking at the Asian man next door. And the vet said, muzzle him. I said, I don't know, but he's got a beard. I went round to see my nan. I said, what you been up to? She said, weed in the garden. I said, well, at least you didn't shit in it. I was in the garden with my girlfriend earlier, and we saw the 18-year-old girl next door, all dolled up, ready to go out clubbing. And my girlfriend said, do you know what? At that age, I could really see myself in her. Which was weird, because I was thinking the exact same.
Thank you very much. Well done, David. Point there for David. Come on. The next round is called This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. James, which category would you like?
Sport, please, Dara.
Fantastic. Sport it is. The answer is 20 minutes. What is the question?
How long does it take to steam French beans so they don't squeak when you bite into them?
What is a frankly disappointing distance for the TARDIS to travel back in time?
How long does it take Joey Essex to fill in the name and address section on any form?
How long does it take Oscar Pistorius to cross a cattle grid? What's the times in?
Is that a joke you wouldn't do on the last leg, is it? With famously one-legged host Adam Hill, is this? Were you bursting to get that joke out?
I've been sitting up for weeks!
On average, how long is it between Greek elections?
How often does David Cameron have to take swine flu medication?
Is it when a man says he's going to make love all night long, what does he really mean?
Oh, let it go! It was one time, Gary!
Is it true or false? People don't understand true or false questions.
Is it for the rest of his life, what is the longest David Cameron will go without someone shouting, oink, oink?
Is it? How long had the pig been dead for before...
Is it how long was I watching the footy drunk for last Friday before I realised they were playing rugby?
OK, then you know what it is?
Yeah.
It is, I think, how long was the opening ceremony to the Rugby World Cup?
Absolutely, thank you very much. Yes. Yes, the question is, how long did the Rugby World Cup opening ceremony last? The 6-week tournament kicked off with an opening ceremony at Twickenham, which told the story of the sport's history and featured cameos from Prince Harry and Johnny Wilkinson, and was over nice and quick so the sport could start, which I think is generally a good thing for these things. Are you watching the Rugby World Cup?
Not at the moment, I'm here.
OK.
Prince Harry had a little cameo role, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know.
Was it a comic cameo role?
Well, it sort of was, wasn't it? You know, he's pretending... There we go. It was, in fact, his first historical costume drama since he dressed up as Hermann Goering in a
They're trying to be historical characters standing next to an outside fuse board.
It didn't reflect what rugby is. The opening ceremony should have been a small boy standing in the rain while a sexually repressed 40-year-old PE teacher shouted at him. And the bigger boy flattened him. Because that is what rugby is. It's the worst sport in the world. It's horrible. It's bullying. It's bullying.
It's organised bullying, yeah.
I used to run ahead of the ball so they couldn't pass to me.
Widdicombe! Widdicombe!
Brain before brawn, my friend.
It was invented when a schoolboy supposedly picked up the football and started running with it. And it was bound to be a public school. If he did that at a state school, you'd have just got your face filled in because you'd basically given away a free kick during a football match. Whereas at the public school, they went, oh, by Jove, I think Webb Ellis onto something here. Look what he's just done with that pig's bladder. Oh, my, look what he's doing with it now. They'll all be doing that.
Just when you thought we'd dropped the subject. Just when you thought we'd moved on, it sucks you back in.
I don't think they've chosen the right host cities. I went back to Exeter, which is my local city. They've got a game. They've got one of the World Cup games. To give you an idea of Exeter, right? Do you remember the poster shop, Athena? Mm-hmm. They've still got one. They've got an Athena next to a C&A, darling.
The French team are complaining, aren't they?
The French team are complaining, yeah.
Because they've been housed in Croydon for the 6-week duration. I was once on a train coming back into Croydon very late at night, and there was a businessman sat opposite me, and a very, very drunk man sat opposite the businessman who was clearly trying to hold in the contents of his evening, this drunk man. And the train just pulled into Croydon, and this drunk man just threw up into this plastic bag in front of him. And without missing a beat, the businessman looked up and went, "Croydon does that to me too sometimes."
Those idiots.
Yeah, that's the French team. Selfie,
Stupid.
was it?
We've got a selfie stick. And someone's taken a photo of them with the selfie stick. I hate selfie sticks. So I'm going to invent a joke selfie stick where you press the button and it drops the camera.
In other news, what could happen to drunk air passengers in the future?
They might sober up.
Yeah.
They're complaining drunks are getting on planes. They make you wait for 2 hours in a pub. That's just a brilliant pub that happens to have good transport links.
It is true, though, isn't it? It's the only time you see people sort of 3 o'clock in the morning in an airport pub just going, "Oh, I'll have a bacon sandwich and 4 pints of Stella." That seems to make sense, doesn't it? We're here. As soon as you take away windows, all responsibility goes, doesn't it? It can be any time I want it to be.
Totally agree. I saw a guy, this was out of order, 7 a.m, having a Wagamama's. What the hell are you doing?
You're right, you're right.
What is going wrong in your life? There's a guy drinking Guinness, looking across, going, "He's got problems."
It's only a problem on planes, though, isn't it? It's not a problem in airports, is it? And it's only a problem on planes if you get so drunk that you go, "Right, you, outside, now."
But they always say that people get drunk and try to open the doors. Presumably you can't actually open those doors.
I don't think someone can just run around... The doors, obviously, they can't be open, otherwise we'd all still be on the last plane we got onto. You can't... Yeah, but you can't in a kind of a, "Hello, you're a very pretty..." Who says, "Whoa!" That big roundy bun doesn't go from... Whoa! Give me a call! Take me! James Orlandi. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area. I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a consumer programme.
Dear Anne, the other day I was changing my baby's nappy and he weed right in my face. Does this mean I can make a PPI claim?
Well, the toilet wasn't connected and there was no water coming out of the taps, and that's the last time I have a poo in the showroom at B&Q.
An important recall announcement now. As it transpires, a large shipment of party poppers was mistakenly packaged as tampons.
Bad news for electricity consumers. N-Power has been bought by N-Dubs.
Critics say Botox is too expensive, but we spoke to 50 people who just paid for the treatment and none of them looked surprised.
Mr. Jones got a nasty rash from his new blanket. Good job he kept the receipt. Unfortunately, it doesn't cover as much as his body, it's not half as warm.
When they came home to find saloon doors and 6 dead Native Americans, they knew they were the victim of cowboy builders.
Firstly, we'd like to apologise for the mispronunciation on last week's show, and particularly to those people who, as a result, have invested all of their life savings in ISIS.
The house was haunted, and when he refused to pay the £200 for the exorcism, it was repossessed.
Dear Watchdog, I bought these pork scratchings, but they all taste a bit David Cameron-y.
The kids were left shocked, frightened and in tears. So our advice, if you're hiring a face painter, don't book a surrealist.
A word of advice for anyone that wants to buy shares in the company that makes Toblerone. This is a pyramid scheme.
If you've been tempted to go abroad for cheap boob jobs, you might reconsider after hearing about Sally, who came back from Thailand and discovered her implants had been filled with helium, and now they've gone tits up.
OK, the next topic is lines you wouldn't hear in a kid's film.
Why are you crying, Mummy? Said Pepper. Well, said Mummy Pig.
What did Cameron do to you, babe?
But why are we going this way, said Bilbo. Well, said Gandalf, we've got to find some way of stretching this shit to 3 films.
It's bad news, Dorothy. The Cowardly Lion has been shot by an American dentist.
And here come Lala, Tinky Winky, and Poe, or the Shadow Cabinet, as they're also known.
It's bad news, Pumbaa. Simba has been shot by an American dentist.
Here comes Captain Hook, who turned to piracy after his benefits were stopped.
No, James, that isn't a giant peach. That's Nicki Minaj walking away from us.
Edmund, Lucy, bad news.
Hi, Harry Potter. It's me, your friend Ron Weasley. Don't I look a little bit like that James Acaster we saw on Mock the Week? Hey, here's a good idea. Let's go to all of his gigs and shout Ron Weasley at him in the audience, because no one's ever done that before.
Hello, we're the Railway Children, except on Sundays when we're known as the Bus Replacement Children.
Once a year, there is an event called the Hunger Games, or as some call it, London Fashion Week.
Half grizzly bear and half buffalo. The Gruffalo was the biggest, scariest animal in the whole wood, until one day he got a job presenting Mock the Week.
Nemo? Me? No.
Nanny McPhee, I've got bad news. We're replacing you with Nanny McSmallerfee from Belarus.
I'm Herbie, a VW Beetle. I've falsified my emissions tests.
So as you can see, we filmed the whole movie over Skype, which is why we called it Frozen.
The wonderful thing about Tiggers is we can disembowel a gazelle in 10 seconds.
At the end of that round, the points go to Josh, you and Gary. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Gary Delaney, Hugh Dennis and Josh Whittaker. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Zoe Lyons and James A. Carter. Thanks for watching. I'm Darrell Green. Good night.